Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So yesterday for Australians and New Zealanders, it was Anzac Day, a solemn time to stop and remember those who went and paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms, the ones that went willingly and fought on behalf of democracy and so that we could be free. And I am quite passionate about Anzac Day. I went to a dawn service yesterday and got quite emotional. And well, this Anzac Day wasn't without its controversies. I mean, can we just have the old Anzac Day back for once? For goodness sake, why do we need to include people that don't even need to be included in Anzac Day? It was absolutely disgraceful and disgusting what took place in Melbourne. Obviously, Melbourne is incredibly woke and despicable and disgusting. But having a welcome to country on Anzac Day is absolutely disgraceful and horrendous. Especially, it happened, I believe, in Melbourne. That was the one that went incredibly viral and people were booing. And obviously, the woke dingbats, the media were blaming it on far right extremists. There happened to be a Nazi sympathizer there, which is why the media were going crazy about this. And not to mention that there were actually veterans that were booing as well because they're sick of it. And then in Perth, a similar thing happened when they did a welcome to country there, and there was booing there as well. And guess what? A vast majority of those people that were booing happened to be veterans, not Nazi sympathizers, but patriotic Australians that are sick and tired of this woke garbage infesting things that are supposed to be sacred and solemn. The Anzacs, a vast majority of over 100-something thousand of them, did not come back home. And those that did, the last Anzac died in, I believe it was 2002. The last Anzac. And I can only imagine how if he was still alive today, or if any of the Anzacs that came home, I can only imagine how they would feel if they were welcomed to their own damn country. It is that they fought for goodness sake. The welcome to country is so divisive or divisive. It is absolutely outrageous. And I have been seeing two sides of the aisle on this. People saying that the ones that were booing at the welcome to country at the Anzac Day service is disgraceful. Unreal. They're going, this is not the Australia that I remember. You know the Australia that I remember? Not having a bloody welcome to country at a sacred site, first and foremost, and not virtue signaling to the entire stinking world. Look at us. It's all about us. Aboriginals, Indigenous Australians. In the Melbourne, Uncle, whatever the hell his name is, his speech, not once did he even mention the Aboriginal Anzacs. Not once. He didn't care about them. It wasn't about them. It wasn't about any of the Anzacs. It was all about Bungarang country, his father's land. If that doesn't sound divisive, I don't know what is. I really don't. Not talking about all the Australians that willingly sacrificed themselves so that you could get up there and be paid $5,000 or thereabouts to welcome us to our own damn country on Anzac Day. Welcome to country does not belong on Anzac Day. It doesn't belong anywhere for that fact. People are sick of it. Australians are tired of it. The only ones that care about it are our dingbat politicians as well as our dingbat media. I'm sick of it as well. Loza B goes, personally, I find the welcome to country on Anzac Day distasteful and disrespectful. It is disrespectful to welcome veterans to their own country, a country they fought for and sacrificed their lives for, the country they bled for goodness sake. Can you only imagine how they must feel? Or even the actual Aboriginal Anzacs that went with their fellow Australians. Can you imagine how they would have felt? I don't want to divide the country at all, but that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what the Voice referendum was all about too, dividing Australians. And did you also notice Albanese when he was speaking about these Australians will face the full force of the law. When he was saying that, he was standing next to not an Australian flag, but the Aboriginal flag and the Torres Strait Islander flag. We've got all these different flags. The only flag that I, as an Australian, a patriotic Australian, see and represent is the actual Australian flag. That's it. Why can't we just have one flag for one nation and one people? Is it that hard? But the dingbats go, no, we need to have a variety. You know how divisive that is? That's exactly what The Voice tried to do. Have the constitution changed to have a voice, a Indigenous voice in Parliament, like we didn't have enough Indigenous Australians in Parliament. They just don't listen to them. They're only there for their own political agenda. That's it. Oh, when Jacinta Price or any other Indigenous Australian speaks up in Parliament, can't listen to you. Anzac Day is about honouring the fallen and showing gratitude, love, and support to those that have defended and fought for our nation. However, I don't agree with the booing and screaming during the service. Surely there is a better way to make your point. Unfortunately, I don't think there is, Loza. I think they made a point, and I'm actually okay with them booing. Sure, it may seem a little bit distasteful booing, but how else were they going to get their point across? They're sick of it. They're fed up. Maybe not the booing, maybe just yelling at them, saying enough of this welcome to country nonsense. But still, like, he kept going. So, and he kept putting everything onto himself, the pride of himself, not making it about the Anzacs. Have a watch of Stephen Shafura talk about a common sense approach to this and also bring some sanity back, because I haven't been seeing any of that from the mainstream media because they're just attacking. But watch Stephen Shafura.
Why are soldiers who fought for this country and their descendants being welcomed to this country as though it's not their country? This is the big problem with the whole welcome to country ceremony being held at an Anzac service. It's being said to people who fought for this country. It's being said to their relatives who have made sacrifices for this country as well. All so they can be welcomed to this country, probably by someone who's never fought for this country. The whole idea of a welcome to country is about one tribe welcoming another tribe onto its land. By definition, the other tribe doesn't belong on that land, doesn't own that land. And that's why the welcome to country is completely inappropriate in Australia, because it is essentially Indigenous Australians saying to Australians, this is our land, it is not your land, you are here as long as we want you here. Now, this is bad enough. It should absolutely never be taking place at an Anzac ceremony. It should never happen ever again.
I agree. I don't want to ever see a welcome to country at an Anzac Day service ever again. I don't care what your political leanings are. We should all be acknowledging the fact that a welcome to country is not acceptable at Anzac Day services, because, and the reason why this is so important, why would you need to welcome the Anzacs to their own country that they fought and bled for? That makes no sense. Aside from you virtue signaling and trying to be divisive to the entire nation and making this all about Indigenous people that never actually went and fought. I'm talking about the ones today. I'm not talking about the ones that actually did go and fight alongside their fellow Australians. But I don't even think they would appreciate this welcome to country. You're going to welcome Indigenous Australians to their own country as well? Like, how dare you do that? But also all the other Australians. I think the Indigenous Australians fighting alongside their fellow Australians, that's important too. We've got to recognize that as well, because they sacrifice too. If you oppose a welcome to country, you're officially now going to be labeled either following. neo-Nazi white supremacist. The mainstream media, politicians, neo-government officials, and the like are now going to run with this narrative, and you're culturally insensitive. This is going to be used as a political monopoly tool. You watch. You watch. It'll be asked in the media, and Albanese and Dutton will be asked this question. And if you respond with, I don't think welcome to country is appropriate, then you're screwed. But Dutton is slimy. That's why I didn't vote for him. And same with Albanese. They're both the same. And also, this guy that did welcome to country in Melbourne refused to remove his hat. Like, can't you be a little bit respectful? Like, you're already being disrespectful to the Anzacs, but you've got to be even more disrespectful. And he was paid, I think, $5,000 to do it. The Voice referendum was a rejection of the black armband view of Australian history. We don't want welcome to country or acknowledgement of country ceremonies. We don't want government services segregated on the basis of race. We are one Australia. And the fact no one has listened to this and just carried on with all the crap is a direct cause of scenes like this. Expect more of it. Here are a couple of, well, thousands apparently of Aboriginals have fought for Australia. Welcome to country is a divisive modern invention that we don't need. Pauline Hanson actually made a video talking about her stance on it, and she was like Loza, saying that the booing was probably not the way to go about it, but how else did you think they were going to make their point? I'm actually for it. I really do, and lots of other Australians are for it. You may think that it's distasteful, but I really don't. What I think is the most distasteful of it all was having the welcome to country there in the first place. And this is not me being against Indigenous Australians, but people will try and twist that to suit their own agenda because they're really the hateful ones. Let me ask this. Why is it that you can have leftist virtue signaling ideology at an Anzac Day service that it doesn't belong, but somehow if you boo, that is considered to be far right and actually wrong in the eyes of the leftists that actually control the narrative at the moment? The mainstream media, like, it's actually outrageous. It really is. Anyway, I am grateful and I am thankful that the Anzacs went and fought so that I could be free, so that I could stand here today and do my best to defend them, to defend their legacy. Because if we continue down this path of being so divisive, what was the point of our Anzacs going? What was the point of any of our servicemen fighting in World War I and World War II, Vietnam, Korea? What was the point? Iraq. It would be no point at all if we allow these woke dingbats to divide Australia on the basis of their own stupid racist ideologies. It is totally uncalled for, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. How about you? Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care, you be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.